Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video with myself, Airsick Hydra. Today we will be discussing and looking at the second developer post regarding Necromunda Underhive Wars. Still, no gameplay footage is here. However, we have a few more GIFs and these last about 5 or 6 seconds. So hey, that's going to have to do. But in the meantime, let's discuss what they put out and also tasty little point they've put in response to some of the community feedback, which shows that at least if they're not listening, they're at least responding. So let's, put some stuff down in the comments below. I'll pass on to one of their community managers to say, hey, read these comments, and then, hey, maybe even you'll see your ideas and thoughts be responded to. So without any further ado, let's have a look at this actual post. So, usual preamble to start off with, we hope you find this message finds you well, etc. Hope you enjoyed the previous gameplay overview, without any gameplay footage hashtag, just sort of pointing that out. Let's move down to the main meat. A note on the community feedback regarding the number of fighters in your gang's active crew, because I know there were certainly a few vocal members of the community that stated that 5 was too few, and we did not like this, and it needed to be more. And there you go. So let's see what they have to say. Before we begin covering today's subject, we would like to take a moment in order to address the topic from our previous dev blog. That generated a lot of feedback from the community members and content creators alike over the past week, and that is the 5-member limit for active crews. Many people have been comparing this number to the larger gang sizes found within the previous title of Mordheim City of the Damned, as well as the original Necromunda tabletop game. While we understand this comparison, we feel it's important that people to regard this information as part of a broader picture. And as a result of overall design orientation, okay, so basically say, well, this is how we chose it to be. But anyway, there's multiple pieces all working together, providing you with a dynamic, original and engaging twist on a classic Necromunda mechanic. They're basically saying, look, we made something different, alright? Up to 4 gangs in each match for a total of 20 fighters per map. So this is my personal concern with having large numbers of fighters, is because this is a turn-based game, and I've been playing some turn-based games recently, i.e. Gladius, and having to wait for someone else to take a turn is not all that fun. So if you have 10 fighters in a match, and you have 4 players, you have 40 turns to take before you could hit step. I don't know. I can see why they might go for a smaller number, but I really do hope that it actually pans out well and ends up being an enjoyable warband experience. But anyway, each of the Underhive War's 3 main game modes, which we'll be presenting today in detail, allows up to 4 gangs in various team or free-for-all configurations to be facing off simultaneously in the same battle. This means that players will often find themselves in situations where anywhere between 15 and 20 gangers will be present in the same map, each with their own turns to play, movements to accomplish and numerous actions to perform. So I can certainly see this being a co-op versus the AI being perhaps preferable, because maybe it will keep the game pace a little bit smoother. Certainly something I've noticed more with Gladius. The moment you go into PvP, the game length doubles because it takes a long time for people to decide what to do. When the AI is doing things, obviously it just commits. By the way, shout out here to the GIF in the middle. I mean, it's not particularly big. If I click on it, no, it doesn't even get any bigger. God frickin' damn it. God frickin' damn it. Can someone upload bigger GIFs, please? Anyway, okay. So, moving on. We are redefining the classic formula by adding different objectives. Good, we need objectives on the maps to avoid camping, to get moving out there, to look for resources, to gather shinies, maybe even things that you could consider to be loot. Oh, exciting and glorious. Anyway, Underhive Wars will bring lots of twists to the classic Necromunda tabletop recipe, and one of the major ones, though, is the addition of different objective scenarios, specifically victory conditions, mechanics, and sub-goals added to each match. Okay, I wonder if the sub-goals are related to the primary goal, or if they're going to be random. That would be very interesting. So I wonder what they'll be. Let's continue reading. In order to provide players with incentives to accomplish other goals than simply eliminating the enemy forces. Okay, good. It's always nice to have a different way to win, and also a way to maybe receive bonuses for your warband, i.e. you gather extra resources, so you have more resources. Although guns blazing, chainsaw swinging is still definitely an option. Good. So that you can go murder hobo, or you can go objective. That's nice. It will be nice if both are balanced. Let's see if that actually works out that way, because It's always a threat in this that the agile teams will win more often, or the brutal teams will win more often, depending on the game mechanics chosen. We shall see. Blood Bowl certainly favours kill teams in its longer league settings, whereas agile teams maybe have an advantage in not so long leagues. We shall see. Anywho, these objective scenarios will also be present in all three of the game's title modes, offering you an interesting sets of opportunities and challenges with each battle force. Okay, blah blah blah. Certain objectives will sometimes also be accompanied by a limit, albeit generous, turn timer and round counters. Okay, turn timers I'm a big fan of, even if they are generous. I quite like having them because it also stops someone going AFK, and it keeps you paying attention. So even if it's longer than you need it to be, having a timer is still something that someone knows, hey, I can't go down and wash the dishes now. I've got to do this. So, I don't know. I think the presence of timers helps avoid such sort of catastrophes. So they're ensuring that the moments you spend in the title are less about waiting, more about playing, strategizing, fighting, and managing your gangs. Good. You'll be covering more details regarding the various objective scenarios in an upcoming update. But I thought this one was doing the objectives. What's this one doing? Anyway, 26 handcrafted vertical maps. Okay, we're boasting that one again. No bottle test mechanic. Okay, players who are familiar with the classic Necromunda tabletop game know that gangs often see their numbers dwindle as the battle rages on. Something called the bottle test, a series of dice rolled calls cool checks performed by fighters of a gang after seeing one of their own becoming seriously injured or being put out of action. Failing these checks can lead to the remain. It's basically a route test. Okay, it's your fear check. It's your should we leave? Yeah, okay. Underhive Wars has no such mechanic. While you will be able to manually extract fighters from the battlefield at specific locations and for specific reasons, i.e. securing a captured objective item, for example, this will be entirely your choice on when to do so. That's pretty nice. I like the idea of doing it by specific map points. It means that perhaps you could camp them. Maybe there'll be multiple of them, though, so that's going to be difficult. But it's also, this fighter is wounded and very vulnerable right now. I'll get him out. Or these enemy teams are absolutely wrecking me. I'm going to get my guys to the exit instead. Or potentially a very nice point in balance in that if one team has escaped with 3 of the 5 objectives, they may be 3 players less as those players have now left. That would be very interesting to see if they work it that way. Might be a sort of an auto-balancing mechanism. I like it though. In other words, each member of your active crew will be able to hold its own during combat, provided he or she remains alive. Okay, sure. A system designed to make each battle very engaging and tense affair until the very end. And here we see a little gif of throwing a grenade. Again, it's not very big. You're going to have to, I don't know, just put your face up to the screen, try not to lick it, and there's presumably a grenade throw. Animation, it looks all right. Looks good. I mean, it's better. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Striking the right balance, both in and out of combat. Over the past few months, we spent a lot of time putting the game system to the test, striving to achieve the right balance of gameplay, momentum, pacing, and strategic choices in different levels. One thing to keep in mind is regarding that Necromunda Underhive Wars has 2 main complementary elements, battles and gang management. Okay, so we want to spend a bit of time in both. Oh, I wonder if there'll be, I don't know. We'll come back to that thought in a moment. Instead of focusing on one-off engagements, we're putting together a complex yet approachable formula that will allow you to witness and forge the evolution of your gang, to get attached to its members and see them evolve from one encounter to another. Okay, hopefully the death rates aren't too high in this, so you're forever just replacing people that are, you were attached to and are now dead. We'll see what those sort of percentages are. I think in Necromunda it was about 5%. If they'd been smacked about a bit, you had like 5% chance of them being dead. A fairly high probability of them being so useless that they might as well be dead. Right, rather than making each engagement drag on, we want you to be able to partake in multiple explosive scenarios in every play session. Whether you're managing injuries, something bionic limbs and implants can help with, swapping fighters to take full advantage of synergies between different career compositions, or experimenting with the stats, skills and equipment, we want to give you the ample tools to upgrade and tweak your gang and its members in a meaningful way. Okay, so basically you can do stuff. Let's get to game modes now. Come on. Right, we're finally there. Game Mode 1, an epic story campaign, written by Necromunda veteran Andy Chambers. Now back to today's topic. Yeah, hi, welcome. So here we are. We have the cool YouTube video, 15 action-packed missions. Da-da-da-da-da. This is the same one as before. Yeah, same one as before. It's a cool video. It'd be nice to have something new to see. Oh, it does look good. You can watch that. We've already done that. That's fine. There's my YouTube recommended. What do we have? Kanye West, Does the Black Community Need God? And White Privilege. There you go. Identity Politics, and some music compilation. Really good song, by the way, Get Closer by Xylo. Really recommend that. Anyway, shout out to it. Really needs more views. Right, let's dive into Action Packed. The very first thing we strongly recommend is that all players do when entering the game, so jump straight in the immersive and go on the damn story, okay? So I hope they don't have a tutorial and you can just skip it and then make mistakes and blame it. Right, so we can see the actual mission selection screen here. So you've got missions, you can go sort of beep to the beep, then it'll unlock another one. Okay, so you've got watch intro. You watch intro and outro, so we're going to have little perhaps cinematics leading into each mission. That's pretty cool. Led by a colourful cast of protagonists, these rival factions will be set in a true collision course with one another as they race to the depths of the Underhive in search of the most valuable and long-lost treasures, encountering all kinds of dangers and memorable characters along the way. Okay, so there might be some notable NPCs that you'll meet, some named encounters. I like the idea of long-lost treasures within the Underhive. A little bit of trivia for you. These buildings are often, and this will be covered in my lore video, they're often tens of thousands of years old, so often the foundations are actually built upon or within the dark age of technology. So there is going to be some very nice stuff down there, as well as some very horrific stuff in some of the sectors that are sort of cut off, too dangerous to go to, perhaps too toxic, too poisonous. Not all of it will have been recovered during the Age of Strife. So Necromunda Underhive Wars campaign will feature more than an hour of fully voiced cinematics and will serve, I think it was more than an hour last time I read, or maybe that's per faction, who knows. They'll also serve as an in-game tutorial to slowly guide you into learning. Okay, fine. Operations, there we go. The Operations game mode aims to provide you with an endless replayable single-player gameplay loop, where meaningful decisions both in and out of battle will determine the rise and fall of your gang. You'll travel to different sectors in the Underhive, secure the resources while defending your HQ against the constant threat of rival factions, as well as putting their own defences to the test. That's pretty cool. I wonder if there'll be an actual sort of sieging moment, or if it will just be skirmishes deciding who wins and loses territory, if there'll actually be a defend and assault mission as such. This mode will allow you to create your own gangs and experiment with deep customization mechanics, allowing you to tailor every gameplay and cosmetic aspect of the fighters you will lead in battle, seeing them grow stronger, etc. So I like the fact you've got a story mode and you've got another mode of sort of endless replayability. I believe you can move between the two, but we'll see. So start by choosing a district. Okay, cool. You actually get different areas you can choose. That's really cool fluff as well. So we have gambling, den and brewery. That's where I'm going. Hell yeah. Mainly for the brewery side, although I'm trying to cut down on beer at the moment. So when beginning a new operation, the first thing you want to do is select a district where you send your forces. Each one will consist of multiple locations to explore and to corresponding set of available missions. Okay, fine. So that will affect the difficulty. High alert duration is to say the number of shifts, one mission, one shift, during which previously attacked HQs will become impossible to raid again. Okay, so you can only raid X amount in a certain amount of time. They call it shift, we'd call it a day, I would imagine. The base amount of XP gained by fighters after each battle. Okay, so you can modulate a lot of this by changing the district. It looks like you get quite a lot of choice on the sort of the customization here in terms of difficulty, XP rates, enemy crew strength. This looks nice. It's a bit like, and it reminds me of Necromunda. Sorry, not Necromunda. It reminds me of Mechanicus. Some of the flexibility that they reintroduced. Sorry, the green tea's wearing off. Trying to cut out the coffee as well. Don't get old, guys. Don't get old. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that Mechanicus has this sort of flexibility that they introduced to it, and it worked really well. It created a fantastic game, and it really, really helped having the flexibility to customize what you're about to play in terms of difficulty and challenge. Really, really like that. So you can set up facilities and use your growing infamy. So when entering a new district, you'll get the opportunity to select up to 2 different facilities, which will grant you different bonuses. Awesome! So you can be like, yo, we're in charge of all the chem synths in the town. We're the drug pushers. And that's awesome. You could be the mining guys of the Orlocks. I don't know. This sounds like a really cool idea. You get infamy points, and presumably you can use that to do more stuff. While the facilities will only provide benefits, infamy skills will sometimes require you to make a trade-off decision. For example, increasing HP or damage output of all enemies in the sector in exchange for extra credits or rewards. Okay. This is nice. This sounds like some actual min-maxy management here. You can make enemies much more dangerous, but effectively get a reward for it. So a nice risk-reward management system. I really like this. You'll be able to gain more infamy points by completing numerous and various infamy tasks akin to profile achievements. Okay. This is sounding good. This is sounding good. A little bit better than the previous heroic sort of thing system. There we go. We'll talk about you in a moment. God, she looks so depressed. I mean, you would, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Or just sort of dismayed with life. But anyway, every shift, each gang commander present in the district, that means both you and the AI will select a mission they wish their gang to undertake. Since the number of missions available at any given time will be finite, this will lead to rival gangs that encounter one another on the battlefield. So if you both go for the same mission, I assume you'll end up fighting each other, vying for the same resource and trying to accomplish the same objective before the sector's entirely depleted. Okay, that sounds really cool. Here comes the first twist. Gangs won't know what missions others have selected before confirming their choice. Awesome. So you'll be here and you'll be like, oh no, not the Goliaths again. Dicks. That's really cool. I like that. So you're effectively shuffling cards and crossing your fingers you don't draw something bad. I like that sort of element of RNG to it. There'll be instances where 2 or 3 AI gangs will select a mission different from yours, in which case they'll battle out between themselves and you'll receive a mission report indicating who came out on top. That's pretty cool. Getting updates on what the other factions are doing is almost like a league system within Blood Bowl. I really, really like that. So you can have a little status report every now and again and be, yes, these guys beat those guys and they were really good and they were the ones that are better at killing me. I really like this. I really like this idea. This sounds much more interesting than what they did with More Time, which was nothing basically, but this seems really good. Anyway, you can discover incredibly valuable artifacts, including inciting multiple gangs to rush to their location. Right, okay. So pieces of intel will lead you towards higher quality missions, and they're obviously going to come with more competition, so that's really cool. You'll be given the opportunity to attack or defend the fortified locations, to steal your enemy's hard-earned resources, or protect your own. That's cool. So you can maintain, grow, customize your gang of fighters. Between each mission, let's have a little look at the screen here as well. Larger size. So let's have a look at veteran leader. So you get a rank. So we now know that we have ranks. We have an appearance tab. So this seems to be just looking. Traits. Three traits. Personality as well. Interesting. So I guess that factors into the stats as well. You've got different promote to leader. So presumably fighter is already leader. Presumably anyone can be a leader. You can rename. That kind of goes without saying. We've got plus -5 AP cost to jump, kneel, carry. -5 movement points to entrench. 5 active and passive point skill slots. Okay, fairly standard stuff. It wouldn't be too unusual to someone that had played More Time, I think. Right. And now, okay, we maintain and grow and customize your gang of fighters. Between each mission, you'll be able to return to your hideout in order to manage the members of your active and reserved crews. Recruit new fighters and replace the fallen swap members in your roster. Upgrade skills, equipment, etc. An endlessly replayable loop to strengthen your gang before you bring it online. That is so goddamn cool. The fact that you can do that with a gang before you go and play PvP. I really like that. I like the fact they didn't keep the two separate, because you can play, on your own when you don't feel like it. Then you can make a gang that you really like. Then all of a sudden it can go horribly wrong, and booyah, fantastic, really good choice. Really, really nice. Online skirmish, online, yep. Little asterisk. Offline custom skirmish matches against AI will always be available. Good to know as well. Now that we've covered single-player aspects of the game, let's take a look at Underhive Wars will offer a player eager to take their gangs online. I wonder how that same system is going to work in terms of mission selection and draw. Let's find out. If you're looking for PvP or PvPvE action, you'll be able to find it in 2 different ways. Contest, and exhibition. Okay, so you have not dangerous and dangerous, like I can't be hurt and I can die, in either matchmaking or custom, all featuring a multitude of different objective scenarios and rule sets. I wonder how they're going to separate the two, because I assume there won't be any reward from exhibition, which basically just means it's a sample skirmish. But I really like the fact that they're throwing both of them in. It's always a risk when you divide a player base in multiple different matchmaking modes. However, it probably is needed in this, because if people are losing players constantly in multiplayer, it could be something that you very easily get put off a game by. So it makes sense, because RNG death is not for everyone. So we've got no holds barred, action, contest and exhibition. So whether you're aiming for more casual play experience or looking to up the stakes, we've got it covered. The contest and exhibition modes online allow you to play 1v1, 2v2, free-for-all and custom scenarios against other players. Custom in bold. Let's see what those are. Looking forward to that. So, Exhibition. Practice makes perfect. If you're looking for a friendly match, Exhibition mode is the one you'll want. This allows you to create casual bouts, either in matchmaking or custom matchmaking, so you can play against pre-allocated friends. That's good, because some games don't allow you to do that. Shout out Underworld. It allows you to effectively do a practice match. Really cool. Okay, good to have. Contest, where legends are born, rewards are gained and lives are lost. Once you're confident enough in your gang's abilities and your own skills as a commander, you'll naturally want to head to the infamous contest grounds. These high-stakes multiplayer modes will offer the same customizable setting as Exhibition, but with more permanent repercussions in bold. At the end of every contest match, the winning team will be recompensed with a reward casket, and all items looted from the environment by your fighters over the course of the battle will also be yours, including any equipment stolen from fallen enemies. Fantastic. On the flip side, negative consequences will also carry over, meaning the contest matches will always involve a possibility of losing gear and receiving injuries, which might sometimes even lead to the death of an unlucky fighter. That's pretty cool. So here's our skirmish report over here. So we have offline player, Hellzone, Toxic Sisterhood, and the Lockout. They appear to be the four warbands that are fighting each other. And here we have Spectrum Supremacy Gun Shell Factory. You can get a little sense of what we're going to be playing on. I like the background screen as well. It looks pretty nice. We've got Shift 896. That's a lot of shifts. These guys have been playing for a while. Okay. Change game mode, launch game. Okay, all looks good. All looks good. I really like this. Matchmaking versus custom matches. Whether you're playing contest or exhibition, you'll be able to select between automated online matchmaking or create your custom matches. Matchmaking will allow you to add up to one party member to measure up in 1v1 or 2v2 matches against random opponents. I really, really like the fact you can go into matchmaking with an ally. That is so damn important for a game's longevity, being able to be like, oh yeah, you're right, mate, do you want to jump on with me? We'll jump in. Because most of us are social gamers. Not all of us. Granted, there are many out there that play games on their own, but this is such a big deal because having the ability to hang out with a friend and play this instantly makes it much more interesting. So really good idea here too. I really would say they're ticking a lot of boxes. We just need to see some solid gameplay, because right now, like, it looks cool, it looks good, I'm really excited, but we still haven't actually seen how it plays and handles. They're certainly including the features the game needs, because it certainly sounds like everything I can ask for has kind of been covered. Let's quickly have a look at custom matches. Allow players to host private matches, 1 to 3 other members. The matches will allow you to choose a number of gangs, select composition teams, choose an objective, map, and turn timer. Okay, fine. So it's just, here's a mission, here's what you can do. Okay guys, so I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here. It looks good, it looks promising, it looks interesting. We're still missing gameplay, so we shouldn't make any sort of premature judgments. However, one thing can certainly be said is they've implemented a lot of stuff that I always wished that More Time had. So now it's just a question of, will it be fun to play? It certainly looks like it's got the warband management down, it's got the matchmaking much better, it's got a lot of features and systems with the co-op that's going to really, really help in terms of game's longevity. Even if you put these systems into More Time would be a lot more popular than it is now. Granted, it's quite old dated and was sort of never really finished. Sorry, but that's how it felt. This seems promising. So, still waiting for some reassurances for gameplay, but I'm feeling more optimistic. Shout out to all of you for being awesome. Leave some comments down below. Let's see what you think. Wow, this has been nearly 25 minutes, but hey, there's a lot to chew on. I'm going to go get a snack. Take care. Bye.